can it be reimbursements for unlawful strike activity if it happened before the strike even began?
Right, that's not strike activity.
Definitionally.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
So, folks, let's get to this. Crazy, crazy stuff. Truly unhinged. Bonkers, as some people would say. I mean, really just genuinely unhinged updates on the Warrior Met strike for you this morning. So, Warrior Met is trying to get the miners to pay them $13.3 million in strike costs. Yes.
Just totally outrageous.
You heard that right. $13.3 million in strike costs. Back in June, 2 months ago, the union entered a settlement with the company for, quote, unlawful strike activity in order to save striking members and families from days of hostile questioning by company lawyers, which is reasonable enough, right? I mean, these people have been on strike, they've got enough going on, and being harangued by company lawyers, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask of anybody. And they did this, though. They did this on an estimate of the settlement being $400,000. $400,000
or less, right?
Which is 33 times less. It is 1/33 of what the company is coming back with right now. So now they're asking for more. Warrior Met is even, get this, reimbursements from costs incurred before the strike. How can it be reimbursements for unlawful strike activity if it happened before the strike even began?
Right, that's not strike activity.
Definitionally. From their statement, the UMWA International President Cecil E. Roberts said there are charges for security, cameras, capital expenditures, buses for transporting scabs across picket lines, and the cost of lost production. How is unlawful, even if we grant that some union members or some union officers did some unlawful strike activity, let's just grant that. How is paying for buses a reimbursement for that? How is paying for lost production a reimbursement for that? Lost production. That's the whole damn point of a strike, is that you don't have as much production. The union is obviously going to be fighting this request from the company. From their press release yesterday, quote, I want to be clear. Warrior Met Coal instigated this strike and has brutally extended it through its sustained unwillingness to reach a fair and reasonable agreement at the bargaining table. We have no intention of paying its costs for doing so. The right to strike in America must be preserved. We will fight this at every level, in every court. We will spend every penny of our resources rather than give in to something like this from the NLRB, Warrior Met, or any other entity. And that's absolutely the correct position.
I wouldn't pay them
necessary.
13 cents, much less $13 million. It's
That's insane.
It is. It's a very dangerous precedent should it actually go through. But just the gall
to even ask
for Warrior
lost
Met
production
to ask for that is just more evidence of what a bad faith actor they are. Just really the definition.
Totally.
I mean, if you want to find like the stereotype of a 19th century Gilded Age corporation that is just beyond the pale in terms of greed, Warrior Met Coal is upholding that legacy.
The Teamsters came out with a statement yesterday as well. Quote, the Teamsters proudly stand with our brothers and sisters of the United Mine Workers of America to combat this assault on American workers by the National Labor Relations Board, said Teamsters General President Sean M. O'Brien. Are we simply going to strip hard-working Americans of their ability to organize and of their freedom to strike corrupt employers? At what point is the federal government going to intervene to actually protect working people?
Right.
We're going to keep you updated on the proceedings here, obviously. The next step is that the NLRB will take the union's response to this basically opening volley from Warrior Met. And then Region 10 will complete their own assessment of the costs. And then, if an agreement is not reached, they'll go before an administrative law judge, and their opinion could be appealed before the General Counsel of the NLRB, and then they could appeal that to District Court, the Federal Court of Appeals or something. The NLRB press secretary yesterday told me that if there's not an agreement with the region's ultimate decisions, which will come after the union responds, the region will commence a proceeding before an administrative law judge where the parties can present arguments and evidence about what each considers to be appropriate damages. So, we'll see what Region 10 comes out with. My understanding is that the UMWA what they've been responding to in the last week is not actually a ruling or a decision or anything from the NLRB, but more like letting them know what Warrior Met's saying that their bill is and asking for a response. So we'll see if Region 10's assessment is even remotely close to what Warrior Met is asking for.
Surely not.
It will be an attack on working people in the state of Alabama, an attack on working people all across the country, and an attack on working people and their freedoms, their ability to organize, freely associate and strike, and withhold their labor. It'll be a really, really terrible decision. So we'll see what happens there, and we'll definitely keep you
Let's
updated.
just hope that this is Warrior Met's wish list, and that the NLRB sees through this.
Yeah.
And, it is sent back, and there's a reasonable settlement entered into here, and not anything so egregious as this, not just in the cost, but in the very principles of charging for lost production, busing scabs, and on and on. The things that they asked for, just truly wild.
Unhinged.
Yes, I mean, it's honestly to me, if you're the NLRB, you ought to laugh them out of the room for being so completely ridiculous and bad faith.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.